we are gathered together to mark the extraordinary occasion of the opening of 3 new elementary schools.
Whenever we design schools, we try and create environments that will be supportive of how children learn. We're very conscious of creating appropriate environments for children that support the way that educators think about learning.
You know, we had old elementary schools, so we right away said we want to do something different with libraries. And really most of this came from teachers and principals saying, you know, only one class can go at a time, and it's scheduled. So we moved from that to this learning corridor concept, where the library is almost a continuous presence throughout the building.
Recent neurological research has really given us new insights into how we all learn. Being very active, that mind-body engagement really helps reinforce learning. So what does that mean for a school? It means that you want to have places where children can move around, where children can build things. You want to have project-based activities. Another important idea is collaboration. Brains learn best when they work in concert with one another. We all learn in different ways. Schools need to have different types of spaces that support those different types of learning.
Educators are saying that kids need what we call the 4 C's: communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking for the workplace, but also just the world we live in and the way that our economy is changing. So this space offers a lot of opportunity for a whole range of convocations of gatherings of kids to be taking place outside of the classroom.
Instead of just being crowded in one spot, you get to help others and go to different places.
There's a time for whole class instruction, but much more of our curriculum is designed to be more personalized, more individualized, so you have children working in small groups.
And it's kind of good to learn with other people. What you know is good, and what they know, you could put them together and make something to connect with both of your stuff, and you could be an even better student.
We want our students to be able to spread out, whether it's a center of games and a center of problem solving and a center of skill practice, or it's everyone working on a group project at the same time. There'll be a variety of different ways to utilize the spaces, and we can always clean up our messes, which is ingenious to put sinks everywhere in a school.
The whole school is not only a library, but the whole school is sort of like a mixed media environment. It's all wired. From anywhere you are, you're going to be able to gain access to that information.
And so when we bring everybody's strengths to something, we come up with a much better project. And isn't it good to teach children that that's how the real world works?
We all collaborate more because we're out in the hallway, or we're in the classroom, or we see what's going on, and it's so much easier to step in and step out.
The first grade teachers all work on the same science units. They can now set up that science unit and they can work together.
So this could be easily a place where our 2 4th grade teachers here plan together and work together. It could be a place where they have kids that come do independent work here. It's a quiet space, which I like. They can close the door, but they've still got visual access, and it's nice that you can have visual accessibility right through to the other classroom. They've always got about 10 sets of adult eyes just kind of informally kind of supervising and surveying them. And that allows them to take on a role of being much more independent and responsible.
For me as a principal, I have the opportunity to see a whole lot of what's going on.
Transparency gives you a sense of, you know, what's happening as you walk down this hall. You can see into the classroom, you can see into the library. We've got display happening. Eventually, we're going to see lots of rows of projects here. The whole school becomes kind of an evolving artifactorium, and like a science fair, but it's happening all the time, and it's not just science.
Kids take great pride when they see their work being displayed, and also students learn from seeing other students' displays.
You know, anytime you can get 3rd graders up and out of the room, walking around the school and to different places, they get excited about that.
It makes learning feel very special. Every time we move to another place, a change of scenery is fantastic for kids, so they're not feeling stale.
Now here there's the nook here, and then there's the project areas and our classrooms and the library, so there's a lot more spaces to work.
And it's good to move around sometimes because you get bored of the same place over and over again. And yeah.
Other places have other tools.
We are about learning, and learning takes place not just in classrooms, but everywhere in this building. Everywhere you look, in a nook or a cranny, there's a place for learning to take place. There's a place for kids to collaborate.
One of the places that we're all coveting right now is the story room upstairs, which is this wonderful circular room, cozy and warm, and what better place than to have a story read to you.
Acoustics are incredibly important within a school. As adults, we need only hear a portion of a conversation, and often we have enough context that we can understand what's being said. But for a young child, if you can't hear every word, you don't have that contextual backdrop to fill in what's missing. Natural light is critical in school buildings. We know there have been studies done that show that students learn more readily in naturally lit environments. So we work very hard to bring natural light into every space.
Just the air in here, I think that's going to be huge. The old buildings had the big windows too, but the kids haven't been used to this before. They're used to, in the afternoons when it's hot, I'll sometimes look out at my class and they'll be slumped over and sweating, and just, it's so, it doesn't get hot in here, you know, because of the way that the building was designed with the air exchange and the windows. That is really going to be a big upgrade.
We know that students have to be emotionally engaged to learn well.
We want our students to be good independent workers, good collaborative workers, problem solvers. We want them to stretch themselves in terms of research and synthesizing and communicating everything they've learned.
If within our schools we can create places that the students enjoy, that they associate that sense of joy with learning, then that will help everyone understand that learning is a wonderful part of life.
We spent a lot of time behind closed doors or working in isolation, and the Learning Corridor changes all of that.
Teaching for a long time has been classroom-based, and to get it out of the classroom is one of the dreams that I've always had, and that's why I'm kind of on the cusp of retirement, but wouldn't happen until after I got to teach in this building. It's brought youth back to my thinking.
Because you're not always stuck in the same place, because you're always just looking for some inspiration and stuff.
It makes us feel like we're trusted.
And we're growing up and we're responsible.
Like if you walked in here, you wouldn't think it was the kind of place where it's like a boring work job where it's not very fun. You'd think of it as, wow, this is cool, and it appears to be a school for kids. It even looks like it. And the colors are just very bright and fun. It's not the opposite of boring.